from TV3, from all over the world, all over the country. And this morning, Uncle James, aka Octopus James Oyedeji, as he's properly called, and I are going to be talking about athletics. He tells me that he's an avid athlete. You know, he used to be an athletics track and field champion in his heydays. And I wonder whether athletics has a bright future in Ghana. Why did you say
I was not a champion in those days.
Uncle James, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Why are you spoiling my vibe this morning?
I'm sorry. I withdraw my comment.
I say that you were a great athlete and you say you were not.
No, I didn't. As I wasn't a champion.
You were what? Pardon me, say that again.
I wasn't a champion.
You weren't a champion,
yes.
But you liked athletics. You liked
sure,
sports.
very good.
You liked sports.
Yes.
Now, when you look at the development of athletics, in terms of how much young people are encouraged to like and participate in athletics, do you see a difference between then, when you were young, and now?
Now, athletics is dead.
Did you say dead?
Yes.
Are the bones rotten?
The bones are not yet rotten. There's still hope because, fortunately, it is a regenerating event. It's something that you can regenerate if you want to. If you read the pathetic stories of the heydays, the former athletes of the heydays, then you feel very sorry that who is going to revive the sports. The sport was number one, and it's supposed to be number one in the world, athletics, because that's the core of the Olympic Games. You have many disciplines, but athletics, especially the marathon, is supposed to be the highlight of human endurance, human endeavor, to ensure how a human being can surpass himself in terms of energy, in terms of strength, and achieve glory for his country. That's the whole essence of the concept of the Olympic Games. So they now invited other disciplines, participants for other disciplines, to participate, and the joy was in the participation. But immediately we introduced the joy of winning more than the joy of participation. Everything changed.
So talking about the participation, let's focus on some of the participants very quickly and then come back to them later. And I'm talking about potentials, hopefuls, talents such as Vida Enim, we've got Margaret Simpson, Ignatius Geyser, we've got Aziz Zakari. What do these names evoke on you? What did they bring to the fore in your mind when you hear the names of these athletes?
They bring sadness to me.
Why?
Because, thank you so much. I like this part of the question. Because these are natural talents. If they had, I'm sorry to say this, been if they had grown up in a more developed economies, they would have been world champions. I repeat, if they had been developed in countries like the United States of America, Canada, Great Britain, Germany, and even in South Africa, they would have been world champions.
They would have, but why are they not? What is behind our rationale of developing athletics and athletes in particular?
Our rationale is first to bring out the potential in them, and it is part of human development. Athletics, let's say sports and education. Sports are health; they are all related. But what we have done over time is to bring this important aspect of our life down, to relegate it to the background, to put money, quest for money ahead of settings. But in the developed countries, whereby those things have been identified as potential for human development, for the development of the brain. And when the brain is, the best axiom I know is that a sound mind is in a sound body. If your mind is very sound, then your body is strong. I will give two examples. I'm using the names. Zachary came the other time, used his own money and was disqualified for the national trials. You remember? Why? You didn't come at the time we wanted you to. Is it at the time that he was supposed to come, or the fact that the man is present and he has been in the final 8 of the world fastest game events, 100 meters, Olympic Games, I think on 2 occasions also. He had this hamstring injury and then he pulled out. Do you remember? Yes. I remember one day I wept because he was supposed to come 4th in terms of the ranking and he came last because he didn't have the right facilities, training, the right coaches, the right medication, and the combination of all those efforts who made those ahead of him to win the glory. And I want to say something. You know Carl Lewis, Seoul Olympic Games, 86. He was my hero until the day he made a statement that he doesn't understand why the government of the United States of America should continue offering scholarship to African students to come to US and train and beat them at the international meets. I said, what type of statement is that? You are a black man. The difference between Carl Lewis and myself is that, excuse me to be very blunt this morning, is that my great-grandfather resisted arrest doing slave trade, and he had people who went ahead to US as slaves, and then they born him. Otherwise, both of us would have had equal developmental processes. I'm sorry to say this, but that's the truth of the matter.
Are you sure that's the truth, the historical fact?
What is it? Those who didn't go had offerings who are poor like me, and those who left have offerings who are even senators and judges and everything. It is the fact, unless you don't want us to talk about it. Carl Lewis is an African American, am I right? All those people you see, Mayweather, Money Man, Joe Frazier, Smoking Joe, all of them, all those top athletes in America migrated from here.
You see, if I decide to pursue my difference with you on that, let my disagreement come to the fore, I won't have time to talk about athletics. But I know that you are really into athletics.
Yes.
I mean, doubtful as your credentials in terms of history, anthropology, and culture might be. But tell me this: in the face of all the difficulties, our footballers have persevered on the international stage. Our boxers have persevered. Why not our athletes?
Our athletes also did to a stage. Let me give you the names of accomplished athletes. Rose Hart. Do you know how she died? Auntie Rose. I was carrying her bag in the 60s. She formed Azaka's Ladies Athletics. In those days, we do athletic meets 1 hour before the football match, before the reserve team, before the main team. So you can know where athletics was placed in terms of sports development in this country under the chairman of COS, the late Ohinijan. And then you have Mr. Wuntumi. I have a whole lot of names to give. So what happened to Rosat? He died here. I don't want to go into the extent. I don't know who should have given him the state burial, which was not accorded her. But she had visitors from other West African countries who came here to honor the dead. Then you have Makahi. Where is he? We didn't hear from him. We have Alote. Amate, who won bronze. Nobody has said about his name. Eddie Blay, he died in secondary. Who again? Roy Ankra. Mention all the athletes that we produce. They didn't have a good ending. And they are not immortalized. I asked myself several times, where is the Hall of Fame of our athletes? Do you know? I think I read it some time ago, about 15 years ago. There's a Hall of Fame at the Sports Council and now the Sports Authority. Am I right? And they did rebranding. Was there a new Hall of Fame? There wasn't. So many of the people who come after me, I am 60. Those who come after me did not even hear of these people, did not see them, did not know that Ghana was producing African champions. I was talking of the limit. You know Ohini Karkari, 73 second All African Games in Lagos. He got the African record. You have Rosat, you have Ali Sanum, you have many athletes. How did they end? Even if you go to their secondary schools now, you won't see their names on the blackboard, the assembly hall, as passing stars. You won't see them because they are not there. They only put the names of those who excel academically, not those who excel in sports. Coach Emison, who has coached Mighty Jets, many teams, all blacks, was voted the Millennium Player, in fact, Spoon College. Then I asked him, is your name on the school notice? Was it no?
Uncle Bode,
yes.
Do you think that if we had a policy of athletic-based scholarships, it would help? If promising young children were given absolutely free education all the way to the tertiary level, do you think that would help develop athletics, or do we need more than that?
No, that is what was done in days past. Athletes were given scholarships, automatic. Even if you don't pass the common entrance, but you have a minimum pass, you are given scholarship. In my school, in Fija Secondary, we had athletes who didn't pay school fees. They were given Cocoa Marketing Board scholarships. So all these things are schemes that came to pass. All these guys you see around, or the ladies, especially Salem School, St. John's Grammar, O'Reilly, they were athletics-based
doing
schools.
what the United States institutions are doing, the colleges and the schools. We were doing the same thing.
We were doing the same thing here, and then there was even an automatic scholarship for African athletes who excel at the African Games or the Commonwealth Games, and they went abroad. And what did they do? They did what is now known, what we are now trying to do as nationality switch. People now running. I know you don't want to mention some names.
Is it more expensive to develop a soccer player, striker, a world champion boxer, or a world champion athlete, track and field?
The last one is more expensive.
It's more expensive?
Yes, because the facilities are not there. You see, when you run at Kawukudi Park, the tendency to get injured and not getting an orthopedic doctor to take care of you is very high. I repeat, if you let me really leave that because that's my now when Marian Jones came here, she was supposed to do demonstration for children at Accra Sports Stadium. She saw the track and asked a question, where are we going to do the demonstration? I said, this place. Then she kept quiet. I saw her body language. She was shocked. Is this the Tatran track you are going to? Then how do you produce the champions?